Well, it's a beautiful day. Absolutely beautiful. It's a little noisy because of that thing. But down at my buddy's shop, and they've got like a mid something, I don't know, Honda's Prelude. It's a nice car. It's got low miles. It's clean. It's got an aftermarket radio in it. Don't know how good it is. It's got some spare parts on the floor. Got a nice little speaker in the trunk. It's clean. It's a nice little car. I'm gonna take this for a drive. But first, gotta fix a couple things. So apparently the oil pump is not pumping oil into the top of the block. As you can tell, this is a dual overhead cam VTEC 22A1 motor. It's got headers. Look at that radiator. Very professionally installed. It's got a nice little intake on it. It's a nice little car. It ran. They bought it. It ran a little bit. Then it started screaming. Took the valve cover off and figured out it doesn't get oil at the top of the motor. So we're gonna try to fix that. And I've never done this, but I was like, yeah, I can totally do that. Don't know what I'm doing. Y'all ready to see how this happens? All right, first thing, got to jack it up, get access to that tiny little space right there. All right, so got the car jacked up on this side with the jack stand. I don't know if that's a good one or not. We'll find out, I guess. And put the wheel under here for special, extra, blah, blah, blah. Ooh, look at this. It's got Napa drive lines in it. Looks like it's got new bolts on the thingy, the thingy, that thingy. It's got new bolts for it. It's covered in oil, but I'm told we got to take this bolt out. This cover's got to come off, and like the oil pump's in here somewhere. Ooh, it's got some scrapes. I think it's time for a break. I'm already tired. So the problem is, when they started this thing up, it ran pretty good for a while. They got it from some kind of car auction. Anyway, they started it up and it ran fine, and then it started screeching. Took the valve covers off and found out that there's no oil up here. I mean, this thing is dry. Kind of scored the lobes a little bit. I don't think it's bad enough to really hurt it, but it's not a sound you want to hear, especially in a car this nice. So now the next thing is to find top dead center, and it's got these aftermarket pulleys on it, and I got to figure out what these aftermarket pulleys mean. There's all kind of marks. There's a mark right there marked into it. So you kind of got to figure out what the last person was doing to this car, and see if they lined everything up proper, and see if everything's adjusted. Oh, what is this saying to? Oh, that's for the valve cover. Here's a wire that needs. I should go home. Why am I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? All right, anyway. All right, so we are taking the motor mounts off. Gotta do this one, and we gotta do that one. So we can drop the motor down just a little bit so we can have access to the full pulley, crank pulley at the bottom. Oh, I did jack up the motor on the bottom with the jack and a piece of wood. Just a little bit, just take the tension off so there's no tension on the motor mounts. So this motor mount, you got that bolt right there, which hopefully I don't have to undo all the way, and I'll just loosen the nut up here, lower the engine down a little bit. Maybe that'll give me enough room, hopefully. But if not, I'll just take it out. And then these are this size, which looks like 17 millimeter. All right, so we got that bolt loosened up all the way. Now we're gonna go under here, lower that jack just a little bit, see if there's no light. Look at this friggin' shop light I get to work with. Battery powered, big, huge, massive thing. It extends like way out, but it can also fold all the way up, and then the leg just have a button. Look at that. I mean, it's big and unwieldy, but it's kind of cool. Okay, so that is as lowered as that bolt will let us go. I don't see any timing marks on this. Wait, what is that? No, that's not a timing mark. Oh, I gotta take the power steering pump off. That's all right. So to take the power steering belt off, you have to loosen this bolt, and then those both are on a swivelly thingy, so it should move kind of freely. Then you loosen this bolt, and then let this thing go. One way tightens it, one way loosens it. I think I'm loosening it. And then the belt should be loose enough. Just slide it off. And now it's off of the crank pulley, which is right there. I kind of feel like I know what I'm doing. It's weird, but don't tell these guys I don't. Also, I know they don't watch my videos, so I'm safe. So next we have the alternator belt. So the alternator, unplug it, protect that with something so it doesn't get dirty, just like I have it protected now. Loosen this bolt up. There is a bolt underneath it that is the swivel bolt, so there's a hole that it bolts into, goes like that, so it can move back and forth like that. get it back down. There's also the tensioner bolt, which is right there, which I didn't loosen up. I just took the tensioner bracket off. Then the belt should just push the alternator down, and then the belt should slide off, pull it out from the bottom. Simple, easy peasy. All right, so now we got to figure top dead center. Luckily, the aftermarket gears have these two little marks. You can see that right there. And that one kind of on that tooth. Ah, you can see them way better right there. Right there at the bottom of my shadow, right there at the bottom of my shadow. They're not quite lined up. I need to fidget a little bit with it. Over here next to the engine tag, apparently I didn't know this, there's a little cover that just pops out. Seems real safe and reliable. And the timing mark is right there for the crank shaft, flywheel. It's called a flywheel. And line it up with that, line it up with the crank. So I'm gonna get it, fidget it just perfectly into spot. And then it's time to pull that pulley off at the bottom. And yeah, apparently I'm being able to fake this pretty good. Shh, don't tell anyone. All right, so I was told that you have to have a special tool that goes in here that holds this part, and then you can hit the main bolt with an impact. But I just hit it with an impact real quick, came right off, because I mean, this motor's been messed with before. Anyway, so now I need to get a pulley, yank this thing off, make sure I don't lose the key. Wow, I'm really good at faking this. So to take the timing cover, or the whatever bottom thingy, it covers the pulley right there. It just, that's what its thing, it does, it's covered. Anyway, bunch of 10 millimeter bolts. So first thing you got to do is search around the shop for a 10 millimeter, because you know those never exist, and take them out. Luckily this one only had those two, and that one, all the rest were missing, but I think this might be a problem. Yeah, it's a quality piece right there. Now I'm looking for a wrench just to loosen the tensioner thing. So now you guys get to see the shop. So I look in all the drawers till you find something. It's organized. That one might work. Where'd the wrench go? Oh, it's still up there. All right, so it turns out we got the right tool, and I don't know how this thing works, so I'm just gonna, it tensions it somehow, and I'm just gonna, do I have to take this thing off first? That comes off, or what? How do you, I don't know what I'm doing. I'll figure it out. All right, so I figured out that what I thought was the tensioner pulley right there is a tensioner pulley. So you got to loosen this thing up, and it moves back and forth. And then this, I think, might lock it in place, or I took it off and didn't have to, but it's out of the way now. So take that off, loosen this bolt, and this thing moves back and forth, and that belt just plops right off. And then this one should just, it should, there we go. It should just pop right off just like that. And now I have to do something else, which I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. All right, so I found out that the tensioner has this little spring on the back, goes up to that thing, and you undo that thing, and then tensioner's loose, and you can just kind of slide all of the timing belt off and stuff. And then at that point, you do have to take the motor mount off. There's a hole, or there's a bolt that goes through here. Wait, that's upside down. There's a bolt that goes through here. It just comes out of this little cradle thing. Make sure you undo this, don't rip that wire. Comes right out, and then just finagle the timing chain off, belt, I guess. And now I think, oh, I have to take the balancer off. Then I think we're ready for the oil, or the, whatever that thing is called, the cover for the, you know, things. I'm gonna take that off. All right, so you gotta take the this puppy off, which goes that way. This is apparently the balancer pulley, and the way you got to do this is see this screwdriver right there? There is a bolt. You just like kind of find this, go back, and you'll find a bolt. Looks like that, looks like a bolt. Take that out, shove a screwdriver in there so the balancer doesn't pull out. Oh, that moved a little bit. Uh-oh. Keep the screwdriver in that hole until you're finished with the job, apparently. I don't know. That's what I saw online. And then you got to take this puppy off, which I think is the water pump, right? Anyway, I think I got all the bolts off, and there's a bunch of them, and it should just, feels like it's stuck. Let's try this thing. See if I can find an edge to just pull. I'm sure this is easier to do with the motor out of the car. Maybe I should have drained the water. That probably would have been smart. I'm probably gonna get super wet here. Come on, I must have missed a bolt. somewhere. I don't know. I'll just keep prying, right? When all else fails, pry and hammer, right? Oops. So that bolt right there also holds it on. So to get the oil pan off, there's like 28,000 bolts. For me to do it, I dropped the exhaust because it's got the custom exhaust and it's only 3 bolts. This might not be ideal for you, so you might have to lift up the motor. I did have to lift up the motor from the transmission to get it to drop down all the way. There's a cover on the flywheel that has 2 bolts. That cover comes off, then all the bolts for the you know, the thing that holds the oil. This is what the flywheel cover looks like. I got those boots for free, by the way. They're pretty nice. And then I took the pickup screen thing out, and that's just bolt, 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 bolt. So now we just got to take the front cover off, and we'll get to the oil pump. And look how dirty this is. This is going to get cleaned up a little bit. Oil pan sparklier than a Christmas tree in there. I mean, that's, I don't know what they're going to want to do about this. That's quite a bit. We'll see. There's some big chunks in there. Damn. Anyway, let's get that front cover off and see what's going on. All right, so it was a little cold last night, so I packed everything up. And now that we got some sunshine and like around 40-degree weather, I'm gonna start it again. This thing's kind of a mess, but I'll finish taking it apart. Nobody's here yet, so it looks like I need to clean my camera lens. It looks dreamy, doesn't it? All dreamy. Oh, I need a pulley puller for that pulley right there. No, not that one. For that pulley right there. And nobody's here. I'll figure it out. Got to take the oil filler tube out. There's that bolt right around in this area somewhere. Got to take this pulley off. They had me go look for a pulley puller, but I couldn't find one. So this shop used to be a machine shop, and it has everything you need to rebuild any type of motor, but they don't do the machining anymore. So it's got every tool you could possibly ever imagine, and I need a pulley puller, and they said it's somewhere over here in these drawers, and I have found parts, but where's the rest of it? There's a part. This is gonna be a minute. Oh boy. What in the world is this thing? They had me go look for a pulley puller, but I couldn't find one, so I just very gently tapped behind it with a pry bar, got it out. Took this gear off for the, I think that's the tensioner, I'm not sure. Had to take the balancer gear off. That one was pretty easy. Screwdriver is still in there, so it doesn't move. And then here is the oil pump housing. I think that, see, there's that bolt, maybe a bolt over here. Oh, these 2 bolts, and then it kind of just slid off really easy. I think that's pretty much it. So right there's the oil pump. There's the oil pump lobe, and it seems, I don't know, what do you think? Is this supposed to look like that? I'm not sure that's right. Also, hopefully that's where all those shavings came from. So I decided to take the cover off my impact bit driver, and yeah, this thing isn't working. I don't know, some JB Weld. Yeah, I think I have some. It's cool. Y'all remember how to put this together, right? Crap, I should have been paying attention. Next to the bore hone is a hot tank with some of the hottest water you've ever touched in your life. So I'm just gonna get this cleaned up, get parts ordered, we'll get everything back together. All right, it's been a couple days. Had to order the new parts from that place right there. And looks to be the same. Obviously I gotta take some studs off this, install it on this one. Yep. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This has a mounting point that this one doesn't have. Everything else seems to look the same though. We'll see. Well, I ended up flattening out some of the threads, getting one of those bolts out that hold the oil pan on. And luckily, they have every tap and die and cutting tool in this shop neatly organized and labeled and, you know, put where you can easily find it. So I'm gonna straighten these out and get that on the car and get moving to the next step. All right, and since it's been a couple days, I don't remember a single what bolt goes where. I think I need to go home. So we want to make sure we get all the mating surfaces clean. Yeah, it's gonna. And then we can use a little bit of RTV. I picked blue because it contrasts with the red of the car. Just get it right.
All right, call me.
Oh, perfect. Just like that. All the way around. All right, we also got to make sure we tighten down all the bolts in the, you know, the star or whatever. Start here and then go other places. And then make sure you get your torque wrench and torque it down to about right there. No, wait, that's about a half a pound off. There we go. Perfect. All right, new oil pump is in. Got the geary thingy on for the you know, the thing that holds the crank gear. Got it all tightened down. Now, see the oil pickup and the thing that goes on the bottom of the engine? The oil pan. Yeah, that's what we're doing. All right, got the oil pan on, looking all nice and shiny. Now it's time for the balancer gears right there. Got it all cleaned up and I'm gonna slap it on there and move on to the next. All right. Well, it's the next day, for me anyway. It got way too cold. We got the water pump all cleaned off. We got the water pump bolts here, and I found some lady's fingernail on the ground. Anyway, these are all cleaned up, and we want to make sure that these water pumps that we use, water pump and thermostatic housing gasket maker on them, just to make sure they're sealed. Just like that. Perfect. Got the water pump on. Put this gear back on. I took the screwdriver out for the balancer. Remember the one that we stuck in the back there? Don't forget to put the bolt back in. I mean, you don't have to, but you know, it'll run really good for about 3 minutes. But yeah, stick that bolt back in back there. We got to put tensioner back on. And then we start doing belts, I think. I don't know, I don't remember. I'll figure it out. Also, I said this was a lady's fingernail. You know, it could be anybody's fingernail. Can't judge these days. I mean, you guys have seen me wearing fingernail polish before. So maybe, just don't know. Ain't got no problems with it. Hey, so time's gotten away from me a little bit. Had some other things to do. This car's taking me forever. I put another couple little doohickeys on. Now time for some more other doohickey thingies, like tensioner. I'll do that next. All right, so I got all the Fidgely bits on. I got the tensioners on. Got the balancer on, the cover. Motor mount's not in yet. I'm gonna put some oil and some antifreeze in it. I'm eating a muffin real quick and put the spark plugs in it to make sure the oil pump runs. Then I'll finish putting everything back on, and it is so close. Oh yes, and the exhaust is not hooked up yet, so this is gonna be loud. All right, moment of truth. Let's see what happens. All right, moment of... What? All right, try to... I forgot to plug the alternator back in. Let's see what happens. Nope, still nothing. What the heck? So one of the guys that works here told me that they pulled some fuses and that's why it's not starting. They pulled the 50 amp fuse like this and said it's in here somewhere. Okay. All right, I think we're on take 3. Okay, we ready? Ooh. All right, so that was working great. And yep, oil all over. Let's finish it up. So, okay, got everything back together. Now we're starting it with, where's the keys? All right, we're gonna go find the keys real quick. All right, found the key. It was in my pocket after all. Got the exhaust on. Everything's put together, I hope. And that's what it's supposed to sound like. Gonna let it sit and warm up, check the fluids again, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so it is very dark, and I've got it all assembled. Everything seems to be in the right spot. I only had like one bolt left. Have no idea where it went. I'm missing one of the shiny bolts for the little thingy in here, but everything else is good. I did test drive it. Drives great. Drives amazing. But for some reason, the clutch quit engaging. The slave cylinder's working. Bled that thing a bunch, and it won't let it go into gear. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if I'm gonna fix that or if somebody else is gonna fix that, because That sounds like a pain in the butt. Anyway, there you go. New timing belt, water pump, oil pump. Oh, yeah. If you all like these videos, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, subscribe. I'll keep doing them. If you guys want to see more of the shop, there's some crazy things here sometimes, like this Jag Vertible. Gorgeous car. I mean, this thing is gorgeous. This is getting a new motor put in it. There's the old motor. There's a Subi motor. There's another Subi motor. One of these is like the 2.5 whatever, blah blah blah. I can't remember what the other one is. They got bikes like this here all the time. If you guys want to see more, put that down in the comments. I could do a whole shop tour. This place isn't pretty. It's messy. I'm not gonna clean this one up. That's just how they do. They do them. Anyway, thank you guys. If you guys want to donate to the betterment of this channel, my PayPal is in the link down in the description. And anything, even $5, is greatly appreciated. And thank you for following along with me. And you know, I love doing this stuff. I love coming down here to the shop. I like working on stuff at home more because it's cleaner, easier, even though it's like outside. Well, I was outside this whole time too. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys. I'll see you in the next video. All right, have a good one.